Hi there, it's Flo Gaia here sitting in the shade of some willows by Lightner Creek in Durango, Colorado. I wanted to share with you some lessons from nature that kind of came through to me today. The first is I was sitting on my deck meditating, and I was just noticing how the sun was glistening off the leaves and off the needles of the trees. And it kind of spoke to me of how each needle, each leaf reflected the light of the sun, and how we're being invited, I think, in these times to absorb the light of the sun and reflect it back, to allow our own light to shine. Even though each one of us feel very small and we're just one needle, one leaf, but we're being called to do that, to let the light of our heart and our soul shine, reflect the light of the sun. Even though we might feel very small and insignificant in the big changes and chaos in our world today, in our own personal little world, and in the world that we can affect, the world that we live in, our own little circle, reflect the light of our soul, of our heart, and bring loving energy, kindness, respect. So that was the first thing that came to me today. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was these willows. They love water, they live by water, and their roots grow deep into the earth. They help to stabilize the banks of a creek so it doesn't all wash away with spring runoff. And yet they're quite flexible. They bend, and so they don't break in the wind. And we have a lot of winds of change, winds of bad things happening in our world. And I think that we can derive some lessons from the willow to sink our roots, our soul roots, deep into the earth, into our heart, into our spiritual anchor, so that when the waters of emotion, whether that's from within ourselves or around us, that we are stable. We keep ourselves stable by having roots deep in our own heart and soul, into whatever gives us spiritual nourishment. And yet when the winds came, as they are coming these days, we are flexible, we bend, and let the wind rush through, and then we're still standing, we're still upright. So those are lessons from the willow that they bring to us if we pay attention to what's happening around us in nature. And I wanted to share a song that my Lakota teacher taught us when we were in camp in Montana decades ago. And it goes like this. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.